Okay, this one is getting a timing belt and water pump, as well as valve cover gasket with the chain tensioner gasket. Water pump is dripping pretty good. That's the reason why we're replacing the belt as well. $260,000 something kilometers, so the belt was obviously done before, as well as the pump. But things don't last forever. There's more than one way to replace a valve cover gasket and chain tensioner, so don't get all upset if you see something that I do differently than you do. There's more than one way to skin a cat, so to speak. And like I said, since I'm doing the timing belt, I'm going to probably take the camshaft right out. Usually you can just collapse the tensioner, which I'll do anyways, but you collapse the tensioner and then you can lift the tensioner a little bit to gain access at the gasket. But ideally you want to take it right out so you can inspect the tensioner filter screen and make sure that it's clean. So anyways, stay tuned. Looks a bit oily as well, so we're probably gonna do some seals. You want to inspect this wiring loom for broken wires. It's quite common because of the heat that these wires get brittle and they start cracking all over the place. Come on. Well, looks like this cooler was never drained before. Let's have a look what kind of oil we got it coming up. We just sort of picked a low spot. Somewhere around here maybe. Still draining pretty good. Hand tool, oh my god. Trying to not get oily here. So the water pump is dripping pretty good, and the cooler is still draining. So first time draining this cooler, I'm not going to be overly excited about the amount of oil. It probably looks worse than it is, but as you can see, this is just PCV oil that collects. And once it stops dripping, well, speaking of which, then I just put in a little wood screw, and that's it. Every oil change, remove the screw and let it drain. Simple. As mentioned in one of my other videos, I drill a 1/8 inch hole with a drill bit, obviously, and then I just use a wood screw. And then people ask me, well, what size screw? Well, it's got to be big enough to fit the hole. It has to be a little bit bigger than the hole so that it can bite into the plastic. And these screws, they have a washer on them, which is pretty handy. If in doubt, just go to Home Depot, Home Hardware, wherever. Tell them you want you're drilling a hole that's 1/8 inch big, and you need a screw to fit snugly in there. So obviously the screw has to be bigger than 1/8 inch. Just don't forget the rags in there. Make sure to take them out after. Make this a little bit more visible. I'm just moving the intake hose so I have more room for my wrench when I untension the tensioner. $16mm. Make sure you pay attention as to how the belt is rooted before you take it off. a plastic tube, you want to be careful with that one. Oh yeah, we have some, no, they should clear. I was going to say there's some metal lines here, but we can move those later. See how wet the gasket is all along. It definitely wasn't sealing. Time to inspect the chain and the rails, the pads, whatever you want to call them. Here you can see the alignment notches for the bearings and the notches in the camshafts. And as long as you're close, that's good enough. They don't have to be pointing exactly at the marks, but the key is that there's 16 links. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Start at this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And there's the notch. If you have 17 or 15 links, the cam timing is out and the check engine light's going to be on. You want to make sure you take note of how this guy was sitting. It should only be able to fit one way, like this. If you flip it this way, it doesn't fit, so you can't really go wrong. Just going to make a little bit more room here.